Well, that experience actually kind of opened some doors. You got to know some people, and a little bit later on led to some opportunities for American Idol. And it seemed like, as I was looking through your book, you could call them coincidences, but things seemed to line up just right. But somewhere in there, you hurt your vocal cords somehow. What happened with that, and how'd you get over that?
Well, like right after that whole thing, when I was 11, I had was able to be on Star Search,
Yeah.
and that was when I was 12 and 13, and when I was doing Star Search, there were like they did two little different things with Star Search, and the first time I did it, I was 12, and then in between that time when I was 12 and 13, I got really sick, and I was sick for a few months, and I had appendicitis and stuff, and then when the Star Search came back, and they invited me to come back for something where they had Winner's Circle and had previous people come back and compete with new contestants and stuff, and I thought I had a really bad cold because something was wrong, but after like over a month and weeks, I wasn't ever getting better, and my breathing, I started having problems with my breathing, and my talking started sounding funny, and I was having a hard time singing, and people were like, it's like, oh, he's sick, or his voice is changing, or whatever, and we went to an ear, nose, throat doctor who was actually later on the ear, nose, throat doctor on American Idol.
Oh, really?
So it's funny running into him there, but he had scoped me, and one of my vocal cords wasn't moving, and he was like, oh, you have vocal paralysis. I'm like, well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. He's like, your vocal cord isn't moving. Only one of them's working. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, and he brought another doctor in who was more experienced, and they're just like, well, you can either have surgery, but that could permanently damage your vocal cord, or you could just try voice therapy, which is another thing, and try that for a couple years and see if that does anything. And we can't guarantee it will do anything, but that's your best bet other than surgery. So I was pretty bummed out. I wasn't sure what to do, and I was like, well, I thought I had finally found what I was supposed to do, and I was starting to kind of believe a little bit that maybe I can do something with music, and maybe I can do something good with music and with myself. And that was just kind of like I just felt like that was a weight down on me, because I felt like one thing I felt like I could do was gone now. And so I kind of felt like, well, maybe this is a sign that I'm supposed to be focusing on something else, and that there's something else for me to do, and it's a sign from Heavenly Father that this isn't what I should do. And so I just went back to school, and I'd been on and off of school, like homeschooling and moving around a lot, and so 9th grade was my first full year of school, and then I was just going to school 9th and 10th grade, and then 11th grade came around, and the summer before 11th grade, I was looking for a job. I was just, teenagers. What am I going to do with my life and
Sure.
do with myself? And I had actually talked to my mom. I remember this conversation really clearly, and just asking, well, or just telling her, Mom, I don't know what to do with myself. It's like, what? I don't know what it's like, all my friends have jobs, and they're just moving forward and doing so well, and I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I said, I still feel like I need to be doing music, but I don't know how. It's like, I don't know what that means. Am I supposed to just keep working, practicing instruments? Maybe I'll get into, I don't know, working for a company, or maybe I'll get to, if I can work a few more years on songwriting, maybe I can do something with that. But it's like, I just felt like I love music so much. I just know that I'm supposed to do something with it. I just didn't know what. But I had found a job running lights and sound at a park amphitheater by my house, and I was happy that I finally found a summer job. But then I was 16 finally, and so the Idol auditions were coming, and everyone saying you should go audition, And I was like, just ignoring them because I just didn't, I was like, I'm not good enough. And I just, I had a lot of confidence issues, I guess, even when I was little, and never really got over that. And I felt like even though people would compliment me after a performance or something, I had a hard time actually believing them for some reason. And I guess I just didn't like my voice so much that I couldn't understand why anyone else would. But it's like, well, I love singing, and I love the way it feels. So that's more important than me not liking how I sound.
I think that's one of the things that people really like about you is there's not this pretense of I'm a star. It's that you love to sing, and that really comes through in your voice. And I'm going to guess when you went down to San Diego, right, and auditioned for American Idol, that it came through. What was that like? And I guess one of the questions I have for you is, what was really one of the biggest lessons you learned through American Idol? Was it that, one, that you actually do have a fantastic voice and built some confidence in yourself? Or what were some of the lessons you learned through all that?
I don't think people really ever think of it that way, performers and stuff. I think they don't focus on like, oh, look at what I've done and look how good I am. I think people just think, this is something I really love to do. It brings so much joy in my life, and I want to be able to share that with people. And and that's the thing I've always tried to focus on. It's like, Heavenly Father has given me allowed me to have something in my life, like music and singing, and I've learned so much from it. It's been one of the biggest things. It was what really helped me gain my testimony and helped me become close to God, because that's where I felt closest to Him. And from, the feeling I would get, it's like I knew that that's how I knew. It's just like He was there and He was close and I could feel Him, and it it helped grow things for me. And I guess, one of the biggest things I learned during American Idol was that, even though you can have self-doubts and you may not think the best and most highly of yourself, you can, if you're willing to work hard and really push, and just take a chance, take a risk, and trust God that He'll take you where you need to go. Because, sometimes like, oh, but I'll fail, and I'm not nearly as good as everyone else, and I'm going to ruin things. But it's like, I trust Heavenly Father, and I feel like as long as I keep doing what I feel like He wants me to do, He'll help me get there. Even if I don't feel like I'm the strongest or the most talented or the most skilled or the toughest or bravest, I know that Holy Father will take care of it as long as I keep doing what I want, as long as I keep doing what I feel He wants me to do. Yeah. Because I feel like that's the most important thing. And from previous experiences, that's what's brought the most happiness to not just me, but to other people. And I think that's one of the coolest things, is to be able to see other people enjoy what you're doing, because it's not about yourself. I think one of the best things about music is being able to affect other people, even if it's just a little bit with a song or I don't know.
No. Yeah. One of the things that I want to ask you about is, you've gone from kind of sort of the regular guy going to high school, and suddenly, boom, this big explosion. But I think you're so grounded, seem to be comfortable. You seem to have a great relationship with your family and your folks. Is that one of the things that's really helped you to stay kind of stable?
I guess so. Yeah. Well, definitely. My family has always just been great to have. I don't think any family's perfect, but that's where you learn patience and learn to love them, and just to see that, no matter what, they're still willing to be there for you and still stick with you and support you, and that you're there to help them and support them too. And I don't feel like people are in your family on accident. Yeah. I definitely feel like, your family, you have your family there for a reason. And my parents are the ones who raised me. They're the ones who helped keep my priorities straight and helped me remember what was important in life, and to remember that God has, a purpose for you, and a reason why you go through the good things you go through and the hard things you go through. There's a reason for that. And I feel like, a lot of people are like, why are the bad things happening to me? And why are the tough things happening to me? I feel like there's definitely a reason for that, and a good reason, because those things help you appreciate the good things that you have, and they also give you experience. I think it helps keep you, that keeps you grounded, and it helps you give experience that you can share with other people in the future. You don't know who you're going to run into that might have gone through a similar thing that you've gone through. And even though you may not understand at the time why you're having such a hard time, if you endure it and are willing to go through it with a positive attitude and not give up, you'll see the outcome. And it might take a while, it might take years, but you get through it, and you can look back and say, wow, I was able to get through that. I didn't give up, and you might run into someone that you could change or save their life.
Yeah. I was thinking, a lot of times people look at like your career and like an instant success, right? It seems like, because they don't know all the backstory of Up to American Idol and all the hard work that goes into it. I imagine that, people think that, obviously you're blessed with a great vocal talent, but an awful lot of work that goes into that, right? Behind the scenes with all that you do.
Yeah, I don't think, and it's not like I was just born singing and stuff. And I wasn't the greatest singer. I guess it took a lot of practice, and I think the best practice I got was just to keep singing and to not stop and not, I would be afraid, I'd be embarrassed to sing in front of people, so I'd go outside and have the dogs barking at me, or in my room by myself. I just let it out and sing and just try things and try and repeat things that really caught my attention, really moved me, and I think that's the best practice. That's the best way to make progress and improvement, is to just keep going at it and keep putting time into it.
David, I wish we had more time, because I have a lot of other questions, because I've been reading through your book and a lot of things, but I want to thank you very much for taking the time to be with us here today. One of the things I really enjoy about you, just so down to earth and so unassuming, but thank you very much, and I wish you all the best in all that you do. Thanks, David. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.
Thanks.